We also want to respectfully ask that unless you are authorized to film, to please not take video during the vigil. We're going to begin tonight with Jenna Klein, a junior here at Highlands Ranch High School and a member of Team Enough Colorado.
My name is Jenna Klein, and I'm a junior here at Highlands Ranch High School. Highlands Ranch students and Team Enough wanted to hold this vigil tonight in order to disarm hate and stand together so the fear and hate no longer consume us. Since the beginning of high school, I've been dealing with the trauma of school shootings. I can't remember a day where I didn't walk into school with a sense of fear in the back of my mind. We're in a new age where we are not sure if we, our students, are going to come home at the end of the day. We jump when we hear a book drop, and our hearts race when we see a door propped open. I used to stay home when I hear of a threat on our school or the day after a lockdown. Now, even after the 45-minute lockdown drill that we had last week, I've become numb. I came to school today just like the other students and amazing teachers. Even though it's been happening all over our country, you never think it's going to happen near you. And yesterday, it did. It happened to our community. Tonight, we come together as a community in order to heal. Thank you.
Hi guys, so my name is Maddie, if you don't know me. I'm a senior here at Highlands Ranch High School, and I'm also a part of Team Enough Colorado. I wanted to thank you all so much for coming. This is a really incredible turnout, and we're so thankful that everyone's here just to let our STEM community and our Highlands Ranch community know that we're all here together. We're here to support each other, and we're here for our neighbors and friends because of the shooting. As a student and on behalf of all students, I want to recognize teachers and staff across the district, state, and nation who have worked so hard yesterday and every day to protect their kids and be present for their students, even when they're going through their own pain and trauma themselves. I also wanted to thank our first responders for all of their hard work. Protecting our students and being there. So can we get another round of applause for them? So I'm gonna turn this over to Kaylee Swaim, who is an 8th grader in our community, who has a lot of friends and families, who had a lot of friends and friends present when this tragic shooting happened. Like us, Kaylee has spent her entire school career preparing for a shooting.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Swain. I attend Mountain Ridge Middle School and have lived in Highlands Ranch since I was born. My brother attended STEM for 5 years. One day is all it takes. One day to turn hundreds of lives upside down. One day when 9 people are killed or injured, but one day when thousands are affected. One day when our world is reminded again of its many mistakes. One day. One day when those in Highlands Ranch find tragedy normal. One day when thousands of lives are changed, but one day when the rest of the world hears of another sad but expected event. One day. One day when 2 high schoolers decided to get guns. One day when they decided to shoot their school. One day when they murdered or injured 9 people. One day when one mistake was all it took. One day was all it took. One day. My life will go on. In 3 weeks, I will be on summer break. 3 months and I will be starting high school. 8 months and I will turn 15. 3 years and I will be applying to college. 4 and I will be graduating high school. I will get married and have kids, or maybe not. I will join the workforce and follow my dreams. Eventually I may retire and have grandkids and enjoy all that life has to offer. I will forget the amount of pain that this caused me someday. I will move on. But those in the STEM shooting won't have that chance. They will have lost or surrendered their lives to 2 people who made horrible decisions. They won't have their chance to forget. Yesterday, when Mountain Ridge Middle School was informed that we were on lockout, nobody panicked. It seemed a regular event that we were all too prepared for. When it was time for us to be released and we were told we had to stay in school until given the all clear, it didn't scare anyone. In fact, there were some who were excited we had more time to talk to friends. Even once we were told that there was a shooting, we were all numb to the surprise. Sure, there were murmurs of, "Oh my God," and "That's horrible." But then most turned their attention elsewhere. It's happened too many times for today's students to be surprised. Only once I got home from school did I realize what a truly horrific event had happened. I went silent, something that is very difficult for me. I thought of everyone I know who goes to STEM. My brother attended STEM for 5 years and in fact knew one of the shooters and the boy who was killed. I thought of how it could have been him, how it could have been me. I didn't know anyone who was shot personally, but I know people who were there. There are siblings, cousins, children, nieces, nephews, neighbors, and friends. They are our community. I am so tired of hearing about another mass shooting. There were 340 in 2018. That's nearly one a day. And each time the same thing happens. People stand up and call for change. Society is reminded that enough is enough. But nothing ever changes. I'm tired of highlighting our differences. We are all human. We all have suffered a loss. We all can say that this is not the first mass shooting we are aware of. We can all say that we need it to be the last. Something needs to change. Columbine wasn't enough. Sandy Hook wasn't enough. Parkland wasn't enough. Will STEM be enough? Enough is enough.
Talons? Oh, Anna?
You guys up?
Sorry, there.
Ready? You said you were going to
No. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
It is our honor to introduce Representative Jason Crow and his wife Desiree, who we have asked to be with us tonight. We are grateful that Jason is able to share some time with us during this trying time. Representative Jason Crow is Colorado's freshman congressman from our district, Congressional District 6. He is an Army veteran and a father of 2 young children. He is the vice chair of the House Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. Desiree is an associate professor at the School of Public Affairs at the University of Colorado, Denver. Welcome up.
Hi, thank you all for having us tonight. I'm up here because I'm a mom, and what happened here in Highlands Ranch is every parent's worst nightmare. Our kids are 6 and 9, and they are our entire world. As a mom, I just want to tell you from my perspective, I understand the frustration and the grief. I understand the worry that we all feel. I understand what it's like to have your child tell you that they don't feel safe at school, like our son told me tonight. We used to all think that this could never happen here, but now we know it could happen anywhere. The questions I ask myself are, what does it mean that we no longer just have fire drills, but we have bad guy drills? What does it mean that we now have to explain to our children why we kept them home from school weeks ago? I can't imagine the burdens and the anxiety that this generation of children and young adults is carrying with them. There is no worse feeling in the world, I think, than helplessness. That sense that no matter what you do, nothing will change. I know because that feeling of helplessness is what led Jason and I to this new life that we're leading now. We decided to go into public service again because we were tired. We were tired of the shootings and tired of only being given thoughts and prayers and no action. So for us, we knew it was time. We had to step into the ring and do something about it.
To our first responders, thank you for your bravery and service. Nobody should have to deal with situations like this, but you did your job, and our community thanks you. To our teachers, you didn't sign up for this when you decided to become educators, but our families are so grateful for all you do to keep our children safe and all that you will do in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you. And to the family and friends of Kendrick Castillo, know that he died an American hero, and I wish he was graduating high school this week. He lost his life saving others, and he never should have had to have made that choice. Please know that we as a community will do everything we can to help you in the days ahead. And to all the students here, never forget that this community loves you, we care about you, and we will always be there for you. The question I get from so many is, where do we go from here? Where do we go when our community has lived through Columbine, through Aurora, and now STEM? What do we do now that our children, parents, and teachers now think about the dangers of gun violence as a part of daily life? Well, you sent me to Washington to speak the truth. So here it is. We are failing. We are failing when this happens over and over and over again, and nothing happens. You already have my thoughts and prayers, but you deserve and should demand more. Because to only send thoughts and prayers when you're a member of Congress or when you're in a position to take action and to effect change, it is empty. It is hollow, and you and your children deserve more. No, you elected your leaders to pass laws, create policy, and to show leadership. Our children deserve action. So today we mourn Kendrick and rally around the survivors. We will stand with you today and in the days to come. But tomorrow we must get to work. Because honestly, I don't want more vigils. I don't want more memorials. We should not be having to do this tonight. As a father, I'm heartbroken at what has happened to these kids, but it is as a legislator that I can actually fight for better policy. Please know, Highlands Ranch, that I stand with you and that change will come, because we will not stop until it does. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you tonight, and may Kendrick rest in peace.
It is my honor tonight to introduce you to Senator Bennett, who has been serving in the Senate since 2009. Prior to that, he was the superintendent of Denver Public Schools. Bennett is the father of 3 daughters and has been an advocate for children's health in his work for the Senate. We are grateful that he accepted our invitation to attend tonight.
Good evening, Highlands Ranch. And I think we have some STEM students here tonight, and teachers, maybe we should give them a round of applause for being here. Jason Crow, it's a great privilege to serve with Jason Crow in the Congress, and he and I had the opportunity this evening to visit 2 of the young men who were wounded at their school yesterday in their hospital rooms and with their parents. And they wanted you to know 2 things. One, how grateful they are for the first responders and what they did. That's what they told me they wanted to say to you. What they said to me was, with their children lying in a hospital bed, getting better from gunshot wounds, what they said to me was, we feel so sorry for the other families. And that is the human spirit that all of us have and need to call on at a moment like this. My heart as a parent and as the former superintendent of the Denver Public Schools is broken for Kendrick Castillo and for all the kids who went through what they went through yesterday. As a parent and as a former superintendent of schools, I know our kids already have enough to do. They have a job to do when they come to school. You have a job to do when you come to school. It's not always fun, but you're there to learn how to invert fractions, why some chemicals react with other chemicals, how Janie changes by the end of Their Eyes Were Watching God. That's the job that our children have to do. Their job is not to fix America's broken gun laws. Their job is not, as Kendrick so selflessly did yesterday, give up their own life to save their classmates' lives. Or the teachers' lives. That's not their job. They are relying on the rest of us to do our job so they can do their job. So these young people can graduate from high school and make their contribution to our democracy, to this great republic of ours. That's their job. And our job needs to be to keep them safe and to do what we need to do to make sure we do keep them safe. We live in a great country, but we need to fix those broken gun laws. And we may not be able to prevent everything from happening, but that can't be an excuse not to act. And as long as our kids are willing to try as hard as they are willing to try, as hard as Kendrick was willing to try, then we at least owe it to them to show them that we are trying. on their behalf. I appreciate your inviting me here tonight. After 10 years in the Senate and 5 years as your neighboring superintendent, I know this community so well. We would never have wanted this to happen here, but if it had to happen anywhere, thank goodness it happened in a community with the kind of love and support that this community always provides to one another. You will meet this challenge in ways that other people might not have been able to do it. I want to thank you for the leadership you're going to demonstrate in the coming months and years ahead. Thank you for having me tonight.
Hello, my name is Laura Reeves. I'm here as a volunteer with Moms Demand Action, but also as a parent of 4 children that attend Douglas County schools. I'm speaking tonight to share my thoughts on the power of turning our feelings of despair and anger into meaningful action. My message is specific for these young people in the room. Right now, most of us are overcome with the emotions of grief, which include denial, anger, sadness, anxiety, and fear. We feel this way because all of us are now gun violence survivors. Unfortunately, for some of us, this is not our first experience as survivors, because it has become our unimaginable reality that gun violence is now so commonplace. It is our new reality that we allow families to live in neighborhoods where gunshots can be heard at all hours of the day, and that our preschoolers are regularly participating in active shooter drills. These have become our new norms, but I want to clarify that norm does not make any of this normal. This is not normal. We do not have to accept things as they are. Each one of us is capable of creating the change necessary to shift these norms back to the anomalies that they should be. That being said, imagine what it will take, just imagining what it'll take to solve this country's gun violence problem may seem overwhelming or even impossible. I'm here to tell you, and I know for sure, it is not impossible, but it is challenging. And I'm also very disappointed to admit that all the generations before yours made this harder. We became paralyzed by the NRA. We did not hold our elected officials accountable as they were loosening the sensible gun regulations that were keeping us safe. Instead, we chose to burden our youth with the responsibility of saving their own lives. We forced all of you to learn in an environment that's more closely resembling a prison than a school. None of this is right. We robbed you of your innocence. Why would we do this to our own children? The very pathetic truth is that we took this route because it seemed easier than confronting the actual root cause of the gun violence issues. For this, I am truly and deeply sorry. We let you down, but it is never too late. People of my generation have to listen when you say enough. And it is our duty to stand up for your rights and your freedom to live free from the concern of everyday gun violence. I finally understood this important obligation after the Sandy Hook massacre. I was shaken awake enough to shift my anger into action. In my life, this now looks like educating people on the facts of gun violence, promoting safe storage of firearms, advocating for gun sense legislation, holding my elected officials accountable, working hard to elect gun sense candidates like Jason, and of course, supporting and empowering survivors. That's all of us. What does meaningful action look like for you? Places I've seen young people find their voice and use their power have been registering voters, becoming well-informed voters, running for office, staging walkouts and demonstrations, writing op-eds, raising money forming student-led advocacy groups, and using the power of social media to amplify your very critical messages that need to be heard. The options for you are infinite. However you choose to make a difference, that work will be important and vital to this cause. I am definitely not here to tell you that this is your problem to solve. Instead, I plan and commit, and I hope everyone from my generation follows the same commitment, to continue my efforts alongside yours. But I commit to supporting you, making sure your voices are heard, and ensuring that you always have a seat at the table. Please know that I hear you loud and clear. I know you have had enough. So have I. Together, we will stop this epidemic of gun violence that's plaguing our country. I look forward to working with you, and I cannot wait to have the opportunity to vote for many of you in the near future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Callie Leva, and I am honored to be an adult who supports this team here. They really wanted to get some STEM kids to speak at this event, and we were unable to connect with any. So I don't know, maybe Ms. Mullenberg could step into the hall and find what, if I could ask, maybe step out into the hall, Ms. Mullenberg will go out, and then we can kind of make a plan, because we want to hear your voices. So thank you for saying that. All right, while we're getting that arranged, I'll tell you that these kids here are the reason that we are all here, and I am blown away. I'm also hopeful for our future, because we're in really good hands. My story is that my husband, who you'll hear from in a moment, Kiki, is a teacher at Columbine High School and was there for the shootings in April of 1999. And then 11 years later, our son was at Deer Creek Middle School when a gunman opened fire. I never thought that this could happen to our family twice. And now I know another shooting just might be around the corner. In fact, this shooting was around the corner for us. We have both dedicated a good portion of our life to helping survivors get through these things, but I sure wish we didn't have any work. With that, I'll introduce you to my husband, Kiki.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. My experience has led me to work with school communities all over the country that have suffered through gun violence, and I've learned a lot of important lessons from those communities. And coming together tonight to share our grief is really important that we have this opportunity. In the work that I've done in traveling around, the things that I've seen, at schools, and in the 20 years since my experience at Columbine, I've witnessed changes in the protocols that we have for our schools and for law enforcement. And we've become really great at that. The law enforcement, their response time, our students can evacuate 2,000 people out of a building in under 3 minutes. Our students can go into lockouts, lockdowns, and we don't even blink. We don't think about it. And the boys at STEM, their response, what they did, our kids are good at this, because we practice this. Because that's the only thing and the only change that we've made in 20 years is how we respond and what we do when we're locked in those buildings. Douglas County, another thing that I learned in my travels and working with these communities is that I can decide what this becomes in my life. What is this going to become for this community? How do we react to this? What do we do with this? This can be an incredibly divisive or painful, awful time, or it can be a time where we come together and everybody will find their own purpose and sense of direction within this and take this, and we can honor our kids, our students, by doing something to affect some change for our kids, for our schools, instead of our kids being the ones that are defending our schools and practicing drills. I never want to see children running out of buildings with their hands over their heads. I don't want to have to look at their eyes when we're in a lockout drill or a lockdown drill. These kids deserve so much more. They deserve so much more. And we have to be there for them. Thank you for this.
All right, we are adjusting our program a little bit here, as you can see, but I did neglect to thank the students. Also, I want to thank all the teachers and staff in our district, because I know today was a really hard day, and I know a lot of people didn't want to go to work today, but they knew their kids needed them, and they went to work and they kept a brave face, and yesterday they held kids and they held it together, and I heard a lot of stories today about teachers that the minute the kids left broke down in tears. So I thank the teachers in all of Douglas County, and especially, of course, the teachers at STEM.
At this time, we'd like to dim the lights, and please light your candle or use your phone as we prepare for our interfaith portion of the service.
I don't know who's in charge here. However, we have a bunch of children outside. As a mother of a STEM student and a mother of a Highlands Ranch high school student and a mother of a Crest Hill middle school student, I'm doing the best that I can here, and I love what you guys did. However, the media just took all of our STEM students and sent them outside. So I love everybody who is here. Wait, I'm gonna stop everybody because I don't know what's happening, and I love what you did for our kids, and I love what's happening here, but I don't know what's happening with our babies that are now outside. The media sent them home. The media said you need to go outside. So our kids, our STEM kids are outside.
Hello, everybody. Hi, if you'd like to leave now, please feel free. Many of the students here are leaving. If you'd like to stay for the vigil portion, we are open. If anybody would like to speak, please come over and let us know. We will be moving forward with the vigil portion. But if you'd like to leave, please feel free. Thank you so much for coming.
We just would like to profoundly apologize if anyone was offended. That was not our intent. I'm sorry, it was not our intent.
Students said that we thought this was about us, not about politics.
We just would ask that people remain respectful on your way out. We're a community trying to come together, and again, I apologize if anyone is offended.
Do we just send people home? What do we do?
It was not our intent.
No, Michael Bennett wasn't going to come here. I'm a STEM mom. My 3 kids go there. Thank you for what you effort.
I'm so sorry.
I don't understand what is going on.
I am profoundly sorry.
No, it's not your fault. Thank you.
We thought that the St. Andrews was more of the students' time, this could be more the community time, and I'm sorry that was
It's okay. It's okay.
doing this for her. I am so sorry for what you
So
did
much
for her.
more trauma for all these people.
I know. I think
I think we can say students who want to
If
stay.
anyone would like to stay, we would love to continue with the interfaith prayer portion of the service. If you would like to leave, we respect that, and we ask that you leave respectfully. And again, we apologize. This was not our intent. We intended to bring the community together in addition to honoring the strength of STEM. We've offered them the microphone, and I respectfully accept their decision not to accept the microphone. So if you would like to stay, please file to a seat, and we'll continue with a prayer service. We'll give everybody a few minutes. Thank you.